Hit the Cincinnati region very hard. Right now, many people are suffering from the flu as well as gastroenteritis or stomach flu.
The flu bug takes a bigger bite out of more people, hitting harder and earlier. Good evening, everyone. Although it's probably not a good evening for you if you do have the flu or maybe those flu-like symptoms.
And if you're feeling run down or maybe even run over, you are not alone, because medical experts say that this flu season is a lot worse than last year's. The numbers are back up. Local 12's Jeff Hirsh joins us now from the newsroom with more on what you can do to avoid the flu or what you can do if you get it.
Well, you have probably heard this a million times. Get a flu shot. And it's still the best advice, even though this year's flu shots are not as effective against what's going around the most.
Okay. What have you taken?
Here at the little clinic, they're noticing a big influx of people feeling miserable.
If we test them positive, we can say, please avoid work, sharing space with others, and isolate.
This particular clinic at the Fort Mitchell Kroger is typical of what's going on in our area. Cincinnati has the fever. But it's not the fever you want, even if it's a low-grade fever. It's a problem on both sides of the river. In Ohio, for example, hospitalizations for the flu nearly doubled statewide over a 2-week period. And hospitalizations have more than doubled year-to-date versus the same time last year.
And what we're seeing is that the virus itself has what we call drifted, which means it's mutated a little bit, meaning that perhaps the vaccine that's currently out there is not as effective against this particular strain.
That does not mean flu shots are useless. Far from it. Even if the flu strain is different, flu shots can still reduce the duration or impact of the flu if you do get the strain in question.
Well, recently people that have had the flu have had an acute onset of cough and fever. But this year we're not seeing that, which makes it much more difficult for the person to determine whether or not they think they have the flu. So that is why it's more important this year than ever with the low-grade fever that most are experiencing that they actually undergo the test.
This particular patient did get tested and tested negative for the flu. That's good news, but she still has a sore throat, which is as sure a sign of winter as a gray Cincinnati day. Now, because the flu is a virus and not bacterial, antibiotics will not do you any good. However, there are antivirals like Tamiflu, which can potentially reduce your discomfort if you start taking those meds within 48 to 72 hours of the onset of symptoms. Back to you.
You made it out alive so far, Jeff?
You know, I was over there around all those sick people, so, we'll see. I'm on vacation, so we'll see if it ruins my vacation.
Go home now, Jeff.
All right.
Thanks
Bye.
very much. Hamilton County has seen nearly 200 hospitalizations for the flu during this flu season. That's a significant increase, I should say, over last year. And the flu season, not close to being over. And it's still not too late to get that flu shot if you haven't had one yet.